What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Chris Wafer. Today we're going over Star Wars The Black Series, Maul from Star Wars Maul Shadow Lord. This is the new figure based on the Shadow Lord series. As always, we'll go over the articulation, we'll go over the accessories, we'll do some posing, we'll even compare him to the previous Darth Maul that came out, so you can decide if this is a figure you want to pick up. Alright, let's get into it. Alright, for you inbox collectors, it's your typical Black Series box. Star Wars Black Series up top, window on the front here, nice red for the Maul Shadow Lord, Maul on the side here, Hasbro on the bottom, a picture of Maul on the side here as well, his name on the bottom, same picture on the back, a little text over here, and then your half window, half package side. Nothing new, but it is a good figure to display in the box if you choose to do so with the nice big window. All right, so going over the accessories, he doesn't come with a whole lot, but he does come with, I guess you could say, the necessary ones. He comes with his newer lightsaber hilt. It is a nice deep red. Not a whole lot of paint application going on, but it is clean, it's crisp, and it does have detail. This does have a sculpt in it, but you cannot put that on his belt. It's just not big enough. The original side that he's had, I think it is a newer sculpt. I think this is a little bigger compared to the other one. But it is your basic lightsaber hilt. It has the detail, very little paint for the two buttons there. And because it has this slot, you can slot it in, or this peg, I should say. But as you can see, it doesn't actually... There is no tension keeping that in, unfortunately. So it's more of a, it'll probably come out as you try to display him with it. But you get the double-bladed effect that way. And then he comes with the cloak. It is a soft good. The hood, I had a little trouble trying to get into that, pose you want, but I think that's with all of them. It's got that tethered look as it did in the show. It is a nice addition. I always love when soft goods come with figures. All right, so before we actually jump into the figure, here's a comparison with the Phantom Menace Maul. They're about the same height, maybe just a little bit bigger on the neck peg in there, but it pretty much matches up. And it does scale pretty good with Devon. Maul is taller, she is a shorter figure, so this does work for your Maul Shadow Lord figures. All right, so going over the figure, this one looks really good. I think they did a good job with this line, especially with the Devon. If you look at that review, that face sculpt from Maul looks basically directly out of the series. It is different than the one we got with the Phantom Menace. It's a whole new sculpt. I'll go over that. I'm not sure how much of the body is a reuse from the previous Clone Wars Darth Maul, but again, it just looks really good. Nice sculpt work here. I like how they put the shoulder blades under the shoulder pads underneath, so you can get more range of motion there. The paint is crisp on this one. On the back, same thing, nice and crisp. Even the paint on the head looks good. And then the metal legs here, they look chrome. They look really good. It has this shiny appearance to it. As you can see here, it is a different head sculpt, and the way you can tell is by that jawline. It goes a little bit pointier on the new one right here as compared to this one. Change the camera for that. It is not the same. It is a new sculpt. That's probably what they went for. This looks more accurate to the This one looks more accurate to the show, and this one looks more accurate to the movie. But they both look really good, and this one looks really good based off the series. All right, so going over the articulation, his head will go all the way around. It will look up. It will look down. You get some side to side. You have a movement at the neck there. The arm will go all the way up and around, but then you have to then play with this extra piece, so I'm not going to do that, because as you can see, it gets stuck there, and then you have to kind of pull it back into place. So over time, if you keep on doing that, that's probably just gonna break. So that's why I'm not gonna do that as much. The T-pose is really good. You can get that much. He does have a little bit of a butterfly joint, not too much, but a decent amount. No bicep swivel. You do have rotation at the elbow here. You also have a single bend, which does give you good range. No movement at the gauntlet, but there's rotation at the wrist. And you can get that much down and that much in on the wrist joint. And that's the same for both sides. It's the same kind of hinge there. At the waist, you can get forward a decent amount. You can get back an okay amount. You get a little gapping there when you do that. And you can get not so much side to side. There is rotation though. And this is one piece here, so you can't move that at all. The leg will come up to there. Move the soft plastic at the waist there, so that gives you more. Thigh swivel. Single bend in the knee, so you don't get a whole lot. You get just about 90. And then the ankle will go down that much. It will come up that much. And it goes side to side. That's the same for both sides. And you get a really good split. So the articulation is typical for your Black Series. For Maul, I think it should have been a little bit better at the knee here. I do like it's a single joint because it does look good, but then it sacrifices some articulation for posing. And as a Maul figure, you kind of need him to be able to get into, articulated poses pretty easily. Here's Maul in a getting ready to fight pose. Here's Maul in his Clone Wars scheming pose with the hands behind the back. And I'm trying to put the lightsaber in, but again, we're having the issue with just doesn't really hold here. And then this peg doesn't really want to go into here. It's a little too small for the slot. So it just barely stays. If you move it, it's going to come out and then that falls down. So unfortunately, I think if you want a permanent solution to that, which I don't think anyone does, you might have to glue that in place. Here's Maul in a lightsaber fighting stance pose. Here is Darth Maul in a fighting pose. As I was doing that pose, I'm thinking to myself, this is a really big lightsaber hilt for the double blade. So I took out the other one with the Phantom Menace Maul. If you can see the difference there, there's a huge difference. It is that much bigger. So just comparing one of the sides, I guess it's because just the Clone Wars look, it's that much bigger because it's basically the same thing, but it is significantly bigger. The blade is even bigger, which on the figure, I think just looks really too big. This is nice because this pegs in pretty well and stays there. Again, this one does not, but I don't know. What do you think? I think it should be the smaller one. This is just, this bottom one, this new one is just way too big. All right, so my final thoughts. I'm really enjoying this figure. I think it really has the presence and essence of the cartoon series in figure form. I'm a little disappointed that we didn't get any additional hands. The only accessories we really got were the cloak and the lightsaber. And then the lightsaber is a little bit of a disappointment. Yeah, I think it's a little too big, but just because it doesn't really stay together, it's just a poor fit. They should have done a different design for that. And even slotting it into the waist, it doesn't really stay there as well. But overall, let me know what you think. I'm not sure how much is a reuse from the previous figure. If you have that, let me know. I think this is a pickup. $27.99? Absolutely. So let me know what you think. Put it down in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more action figure reviews. And I'll see you on the next Chris Toyfer.